Alright, how is everybody doing on this lovely morning, on these real European hours? Currently it's 4:45 in the morning for me. Just trying to get started here. So, how's it going, everyone? This is Gungnir for the PSP, and I got a bit of surprise for you guys. This is, in fact, the first time in history this game will be featured in a marathon. This is a world premiere just for you guys, so I hope you are looking forward to it. I've been putting a lot of effort into routing this game, and just to make sure I put up a good show for you. Okay, so I'm going to get started in just a few seconds here. And select my difficulty setting. Advanced doesn't do that much, it just increases the HP the enemies have, so it's, to me, basic is the better speed run, because it gives you more better tactics. Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1, go! Let us go. So, a few warnings here. This game has an internal speed up function, and it also has a relatively cluttery UI, so it might be a bit tough to follow, but we do have cutscene skips, so it's nothing but the action from the get-go. So, we got Gungnir. It's a strategy RPG. You can play with a bunch of different type of units. You got melee, range, magic, and as the game starts, we'll have access to the protagonist here, named Giulio. He is a physical type unit, he can only attack with swords, and then the titular Gungnir, which is a magical spear that we will gain access to later. And we have the help of 4 scrubs over here, who are guests. The AI controls them for me, which is very unfortunate because they are somewhat incompetent, so I cannot rely on them for anything. We have Cloud and Noah, who can hit from range, so notice their terrible hit rate. This is because in this game, when you attack from range, you actually have a sweet spot for what is the best tile to hit. So for example, a sweet spot for an archer is 4 tiles away from the enemy, and every tile that you attempt to hit adjacent to that tile has a 25% accuracy loss. So this is an example on how seriously this game takes positioning. Also here I am going to perform a scramble. Notice that on my left I have this bar called Tactics. Every time a character moves they are going to generate tactics points, and this is accuracy the game uses to allow me to perform actions, special actions like that scramble, which lets me erase the wait time I have to usually wait out for my next action, and just directly get on top of it. And also notice the guard rate. Oh boy, that was an 8% guard rate. Wonderful. Alright. I'm gonna need Giulio to take care of all the enemies, because even though there is Teresa there, the thief helped me out with damaging something, at this point in the battle the AI is very insistent on grabbing item bags and the corpses to loot them for resources, which kinda helps me because I do want those items to sell for cash later, but it also means the guest units are going to be completely distracted on actually helping me out complete the battle. So I'm gonna have Giulio to carry the bulk of the damage here. Notice, no, I was right next to that guy and didn't bother attacking, dude. Like, what am I supposed to do? Alright, at this point in the battle I don't want to scramble, because you would imagine that spamming that will allow me to get more actions in, but tactics points also influence other things such as damage. Some weapons have a hidden stat, not a hidden stat, but they have this thing called tactics damage that relies entirely on how many tactics points you have accumulated through the course of the battle. Yo, shout outs to Cloud! My boy making me proud. Okay, now we can scramble because it's we can just finish this guy off very easily at this range. Nice number. Experience doesn't do that much in this game, honestly. Like, at the end of the game, I am battling level 40 enemies with level 20 units. When you level up, it increases your HP, your capacity, and your resistance to status ailments. So it really doesn't do that much. It's not that big of a deal to grind in this game, which is a good thing because it means that you can just focus on actually strategizing instead of grinding to get resources. Alright. So now the game begins. The overarching plot of this game is you got a war going on in the continent of Daltanica? I forget the name of the continent. But you got the east and the west. The east are the upper echelon. They are the bourgeois. We gotta defeat the bourgeois. We are living in a slum, so they hate us because we are Leonicans. I don't know. Alright, this map is training scene. Now we got to control Teresa. And I actually wanted to use her as much as I can here. I'm going to grab a flag. Flags increase my tactics points bar by a couple points on its maximum, so this can help increase further things like damage. But here I use it to bait Noah to move into that tile so that I can keep hitting him further with Teresa. And I lied, there is experience in this game. Weapon experience. Every time you use a weapon, it increases your mastery over it, and if you use it enough times, it's going to unlock a skill. So on this map, I want Teresa to attack 3 times, so that she unlocks the skill Abyssal Edge, which has knockback, and will allow me to push enemies around the battlefield. Almost just shy of getting the KO Noah, but just killing him finishes the battle. For most maps, the winning condition is defeating the Ace, which is the boss on the opposing side. So the usual strategy is just power rushing to defeat the boss and move on. Alright, now all the nerds have joined my party. We have Giulio, Noah, Cloud, and Teresa available for the next map. And on this scene, we find ourselves getting invaded by the Eastern forces, so we have to defend ourselves. This is where the war truly starts for our characters. So this decision is very important, because the decisions I choose are actually going to affect the ending of the game. And I want to get a good ending, because it's going to eliminate any scene on the crates, so that's just something I watch out for the entire speedrun. For this map, I am intentionally selecting the choice that will go for the bad ending, so because it actually sets Alisa on the battlefield, who is a little girl on the bottom right, and I want her to be around so that I can bait enemies into attacking her. But yeah, now I get full control over all the nerds. I'm going to grab as many flags as I can. As you will notice, this game is more about glorify, capture the flag, and okay, I did a slight doozy on that. Fortunately, even if I ever make a mistake, I can just restart the map and get over. So the thing about this game is that my strategies are extremely precise. They are very consistent, but I gotta follow them to the letter, or enemy positions are just going to mess up everything I want to do. So there I got ahead of myself and I made a Teresa move when I shouldn't have. So a bit of a time loss here, but trust me, I'm going to lose more time if I insist doing the suboptimal setup for the battle. So yeah, let's just focus here and actually move Giulio. I want him to move up here so that the Brood falls down below, because the AI is weird, don't use it. And also to bait this thrower to come closer so that I can hit him like that. Now I move Teresa to help out with a bit position, as I bait the Sorceress as well, and here we're going to see what the tactics points can do for our benefit. So this is an action I can perform while spending tactics points. I can use an equipped held item to boost my damage and then beat it with the other characters. A bit is like a reverberation of an attack, like if I position my characters in the same axis as an enemy, I can go for some extra damage, just chip them a little bit, and thanks to the couple beats I was able to KO the Sorceress with a single attack. So bits are also an essential part of the route. Now here I'm going to take advantage of knockback, and knockback is OP in this game, because notice the battlefield just covers an entire square, and with knockback I can actually like physically push, shove enemies out of the battlefield, and if you do that, that counts as an instant KO. So if I ever need to do this, I will take the opportunity to kill an enemy through knockback, because it's just a free KO, you don't have to deal much damage, you just have to push them out, and that's all. This is a routing map, I actually have to kill everything so that I can progress. Alright, using Alisa's bait here. So this guy stays on the edge, because he's also going to suffer the same fate as the timers here. So normally these cheeses with enemies don't work on bosses because they are specifically immune to knockback to avoid this, but these units are just random generated, so they don't have those flags set up. The extra damage is depending on the character doing them, specifically the weapon they have equipped. Alright. Here, I'm going to remove Giulio's equipment because, spoiler alert, we cannot win this map. Just notice how many enemies are going to gang up on us. We are supposed to lose this, so I am getting ahead of the enemies here and actually going to help them out and defeat Giulio, because the condition to have this move forward is Giulio is defeat, or the ace. I could make Noah my ace, but I prefer Giulio because it gives me better positioning, and I can also remove his equipment. Noah is a guess unit, so I cannot do anything with his armor. But now I'm gonna drop Cloud to the right to generate some tactics points so that I can boost Teresa and use the Star Wave and Giulio. Terrible leader, perish. Hopefully we can get a hit here. Nice, alright. That has a 25% chance of missing, but it allows us to finish the battle just a tiny bit faster. The other characters don't matter, I just need Giulio to fall in battle right now. So with the help of Noah, Cloud rather, I can boost my damage, keep away Giulio. So the benchmark you want to hit for this battle is killing Giulio before the sorceresses get to cast their spells. That means it was done quickly. If I get really lucky with the soldier positioning, I can actually attempt to knock back Giulio off the stage and just insta-kill him, but that's random. You cannot mention that happening. See ya, nerd! Okay, so plot-wise now we got captured and the Eastern forces decide to murder my entire party. Now Noah, Cloud and Teresa are officially dead. Forever, they don't come back and you cannot revive them through a scene or something, they are gone. So Gungnir killing all your loved ones on the third scene of the game, just not giving a care in the world. Okay, but now this magical spear came falling from the sky to save the day, because we were on the verge of getting destroyed at the slums here, but this spear is giving us a fighting chance, and it's calling for Giulio, so it is our duty to grab it. So, this is the Gungnir, the magical demon spear. Also, shoutouts to Elise, she's just helping me out there. So, I hope you like this little cinematic here, because you're going to be seeing a lot in the game. Just our boy and Haircard dishing out big damage on the enemies, cutting their health to 25%. So now our goal is just defeating the boss. Which is going to take a single slash from the Gungnir. It's a really strong weapon. Boop! Oh yeah, the Gungnir also restores health whenever I attack with it, so yeah, it's really good. But we mostly use it for the summoning aspect of it. Alright, and with that we have cleared the prologue, and we got a weapon drop, awesome. Whenever I win a battle I have a random chance of getting one of the things the boss has equipped, and more often than not I'm looking for weapons so that I can sell for big cash. Alright, yeah, our boy and Herc are making a formal introduction here. He is the best war god we can summon with Gungnir for pretty much the entire game. Now we have new units joining us, they are related to Julia, one way or another. But I'm also going to buy a rope and a thorn whip and start recruiting generics, because the game allows me to do this now. I'm going to recruit the Legend of Fravele, as well as a tamer called Hildegard. And these units in particular have a very high tactics points generation as they move, so it's they are excellent units for sure. So this game is linear. All the battles happen in succession. As soon as you finish a scene, you get a resting area, and then you can keep going to the next scene. Alright, we're going to select Ragnus as an ace. The reason for that is depending on who becomes the boss of your side, they can reduce the delay of other units. Of the generics, so that's why generics are very strong, because they can get delay reductions via aces. And that will allow me to get my turns really quick, if I select the proper delays for the map. So for this map we are going to witness the typical strategy we use. I'm going to collect a bunch of flags just to increase my tactics points bar. And at max, it's also going to increase the damage that Ragnarok will deal, that big summon we saw a few minutes ago. So also making sure that I generate a ton of tactics points with Orgar Hildegard here. And set Elise. And now get started with Ragnarok summoning. So Ragnarok doesn't always help you out. You can notice in the top right map that it's targeting either red or blue units. Blue are my units. And I don't want the Ragnarok to be hitting me. But I can influence Ragnarok by advancing the turn order. I can overclock to just wait out the turn sequence by a single tick, and that changes Ragnarok's RNG. But what I am looking for here is hitting the boss specifically and the unit in front of it, so that I can perform my boss kill. And this can take a little bit. This is one of the more annoying Ragnaroks in the game. Other ones are easier, but yeah, we got it there. So that's the first part. The next part is that you also gotta wait a ton of time until the summon happens. So Ragnarok is not as free as it looks, you need some very specific conditions to make the most of it. So now I'm going to start casting a spell ahead of time so that I can hit the boss once Ragnarok happens. So Einherjar is by far the best summon in the game, because it deals, it cuts down enemy health by percentages. So the max tactics points is going to cut enemy health by 70%, something like that. So the boss has 1200 HP, but Ragnarok is just going to chop all of that and give me a much easier boss kill. And also allow me to snipe the boss from distance, because it would be a pain to go with some melee units to go smack him around. But yeah, I'll perform another beat with the Gungnir. Gungnir is also excellent for beating, because it's got a really high attack stat. And now, Paulo, we can just finish off the boss with the spellcast we had going before the summon went off. And that's that. My accent is Spanish. I get that a lot. That my accent is Northern European or something, but it's Spanish. Hope I'm not making myself hard to listen to. Okay, we got another scene. Depending on the scene, you can summon specific units. I want Reinhardt for later. And I'm also going to the shop to get some items. The Wilgreaves, which increase my movement by 1. And a Kaiser Knuckle, which also have a different boost in action. Alright, for this scene I want Ragnus to be the ace, but I am going to equip him with the items I just bought to beef him up a little bit. Hilga, Julia, Elise, and Paulo over here. Alright, I'm glad. So, I'm going to move Hildegard to this spot so that I can bait the Harpy to come closer and disable her later. Now fall down and start collecting flags. For this map I am not going to bother casting Ragnarok because we can set up a beats in order to kill the boss instead. I'm going to drag down Julia down here so that we can beat further. And notice the timers how they are slowly approaching me. I actually want to move off the way so that nothing terrible happens, but first I am going to move Ragnus into this tile, scramble to gain a bit more time on my turn sequence, and tandem hold. This is why I bought the rope for the tamer. The rope allows you to capture enemies, which is a mechanic unique to whip users, and that allows you to completely disable a unit at the cost of disabling yours as well for the duration of the capture, until you decide to break it. You will be correct, this game is actually developed by the same people who made Riviera, Yggdra Union, that will be the Parmen Heaven. So you might notice similar mechanics, or at least aesthetics to those games. Okay, but now that we got our bits set up, we're just going to slap Rodriguez around. Rodriguez is a recurring brilliant throughout the game. He just has a penchant for Giulio because he hates his father for some reason. Another mechanic in water is that characters will slowly drift if you are on water. This can be a little annoying sometimes because you can get knocked into deep water and drown. Or also get drifted off the map and get accidentally knocked back that way. But at least drifting is consistent, so I don't have to worry about dying in such silly ways. Alright. So for this scene, I'm going to start making safety saves because it's at this point where messing up the shopping lists can be catastrophic. Okay. And now I'm going to sell all my junk, make some big cash through this, through everything I've been collecting from Prologue up to this point. Okay. And start gearing up. Going to get some bronze swords, so they have a knockback skill by default, some equipment for range units, a shield for some guard rate, and I want Amazon boots to increase my movement, as well as another pair of Wilgreaves for the same purposes, and we can move on. Got another scene with Alisa here. Alisa affects most of the ending choices, so you usually want to do things to please her. Alright. For this map, I want Ragnus as ace once again, because he just gets the best delays at this point. I want the timer here to move as quickly as possible. I'm going to set up Giulio for the Wheel Greaves. Also, I'm going to set up the bow I just bought for Elise, and we can get a start here. So, this map has a special condition. I am supposed to rescue the red-haired girl over there. And in order to rescue her, I just need my ace to approach her. But I am going to move my characters in a way to manipulate the girl to come towards me instead of having to waste time by getting closer to the enemies in order to fulfill this condition. So here, I need Ragnus to move to the back, grab a hidden flag. This map is a pain to work with because there's some giant trees in the foreground that cover the entire screen, but I just had to memorize where things are located so that they don't become an issue. And now that I rescued the girl, I am going to fulfill the next condition, which is routing the map. We have to kill everything. And for that I will, of course, take advantage of our Ragnarok so that it does most of the dirty work for me by cutting the enemy's health. And that's why I've been going for this collect a ton of flags. I'm just getting the timer away from danger because she's a little helpless offensively, and we can work. We can start spinning the Handheld roulette. How many tries will it take? I don't know! It just feels like a jerk sometimes. But yeah, sometimes I may take Ragnaroks that kill my own units if it allows me to just get through the Ragnarok quicker. Because sometimes the targeting just doesn't feel like working out, so the first good thing that I get is a good bet. But I'm probably gonna start taking the next Ragnarok that is beneficial for me because it's not cooperating right now. I call this a timeout. It's a Ragnarok that hits everybody on the field, but for this particular Ragnarok I don't want Giulio to get hit if I can help it. I'll take this. It's not hitting one of the units, but at this point it doesn't matter. I need to keep going with the battle. Shoutouts to Valerie. Alright, now I'm going to move my timer around to generate tactics points so that Giulio can start dealing hefty damage with the Gungnir. The Gungnir is a weapon that totally depends on tactics points to function. Like, if you don't have any tactics points, its damage is pitiful, but the more you gather, it just skyrockets in damage, dealing upwards of 500. So, we want to do? Alright, thank you, Einherjar. Now that I rescued Valerie, it doesn't matter if she dies in battle, so I don't care about her HP in the slightest. But for the most part, in the entire speedrun, I don't feel in danger by enemies. Like, I never put myself in a precarious situation where I could be dying. Yes, if Giulio gets knocked back or stunned by an enemy, or put to sleep, like basically get hit by any status ailment, that can interrupt the Ragnarok cast. Fortunately, I can recast it if that doesn't happen, but I only get one chance at Ragnarok per battle. So like, I never resummon Ragnarok. Usually one Ragnarok is enough to kill things anyway, but that's because the game doesn't let me. Like, you can only cast summon a War God once per battle. I'm gonna have Giulio go on a Murder Spirit here to increase his experience and level so that he has a better capacity. He's also my strongest unit right now for these random times where I need to deal damage. Okay, so notice this unit is casting a spell. That means that it's completely at my mercy. When you're casting a spell, so it's basically your most vulnerable state, because you cannot guard, you will always get hit by anything. Like, accuracy modifiers don't apply to you, you will always get hit. So I can bench on that to guarantee I hit enemy units. Let's see. I'm just going to move with Ragnus off the way. How are my bits position looking? I can beat it with the timer. Money! So that's some nice balancing tech this game has. Spells are very strong, but they also have the setback that you have to wait them out for them to go off. This game is very detail-oriented, I like it a lot. It's my favorite strategy RPG, for sure. Because it just has a lot of attention to detail. And there is a lot of ways you can play. Okay, going to start using the list to initiate the beats here. And that's that, chapter complete. A bit slower than I would prefer, because Einherjar wasn't cooperating with me on this one, but it went just fine. Now Valerie joins our forces, and she's a respectable unit. She can help out. Now we're going to engage in the alchemy mechanic of the game. You can sacrifice items in order to get gems, and with gems you can improve other weapons, so they deal better damage. And I don't do this too often throughout the run because it's inconsistent and RNG, but I do want to improve the weapon that Elise has equipped, the Ghost Bow, which I will use to snipe bosses from a long distance. No, you can only beat once per axis, so you can beat from every direction at least 4 times. But that's your maximum, you cannot beat more than that. And even then, setting up that kind of beat can be more trouble than it's worth. Okay. Valerie is forced to be an ace here, but she still gets the timer delay reduction, so it's not a big deal. Let's see, I'm going to put the list here, and then use Fravella, the assassin I recruited ages ago. She has a very important job here, a painful job, but a necessary one nonetheless. So, the first thing I'm going to do is immediately betray my unit and attack it with Julio, so that I can soften it up for the enemy units. Notice that I equipped Sachet, an item on top of Fravella when the battle started. The reason for this is that I actually want her to die in the battle so that she retreats and drops an item afterwards. And I am going to use this as a bait so that the enemies will be extremely tempted to go grab the item. But I am also going to set it up in such a way that the enemies will not be able to grab the item and just hang around it for some time. Because we've seen this behavior on the first map of the game, where my AI, my guest units, were so hellbent on trying to grab items. And the same applies for the enemy units. If they have an item around, they will try their best to get the item. So the witch here, she's going to place herself on top of the sachet and cast a spell, which prevents her from grabbing the item. And that means that the item is still available for your enemies to grab, and they will just go for it, and you will see how dumb the AI gets because of that. But I am using that as an opportunity to use bait the AI so that they don't murder me while I set up my KO here. But yeah, now that she's done casting, she still cannot grab the item. She has to consciously do that by finishing her turn on top of it. And that's 20 flags. Alright. We're looking to hit the 2 units here. This works. Oh nice, first try, alright. This is hitting my timer a bit earlier than I want to, because I'm going to sock her out for another unit. But I need to hit Bacchus so that he starts moving around. Bacchus is the boss of the area, by the way. But yeah, a mechanic here is that I can actually take units out for another ones on retreat points. And I need Ragnus' damage for this next portion. So, the fortunate thing about subbing out as well is that it takes the targeting with it. So, the timer was going to get hit by this Einherjar, but because I soft her out, then there is no unit to hit anymore, so it skips that. Okay, move you into position. Now, I am going to very violently massacre this archer because I want him to perish. There is a distinction between perishing and retreating. If you retreat, you drop a sachet and you get a random drop from the enemy was holding. But if you kill the unit, you can loot the corpse and get any item you want. So notice the AI here, it's trying to grab the item, but there is a unit on top of it, so it's helpless and cannot do anything about it. Okay, here I'm going to generate some more tactics points to guarantee my KO on the archer, because I only got one shot at this, so I'm going to go for 600 damage to guarantee the KO. And sometimes, even then, I miss the range, so hey, hoping for the best here. There we go. Now I can get the accessory that guy was holding, which is, I go for this convoluted setup because this is the only way I can get the accessory he's holding this early. Like, only archers on this map hold the item I want, and even then I need to go for the KO to guarantee that I get the item I want. So now baiting another pyro wave from the witch, so that the enemies keep hovering over the item. And get an MG gadget. This is an accessory that increases my accuracy, so it's going to help on the next maps with targeting units. And now I'm going to set up the KO for the boss. I'm going to have Julio help with beating, and have Elise initiate the beats across the bridge here. So just wait for Bacchus. Bacchus is holding an elixir. Elixirs restore your health to max, but for some reason sometimes bosses just don't feel like using them unless they are on critical health. So it is imperative that I snipe Bacchus in this resting period where he just doesn't feel like attacking me. Like using the item rather. And not lose the damage I dealt with the summon. Ah. Destroy him! I usually have to kill this guy on 3 hits. If I get really lucky, I can kill him on a couple, but it's very rare. And there we go. Map complete. This is one of the more difficult maps in the game. So I'm glad it went without hassle. Alright. Let's make another backup here. Now, it's time, my friends. We can now recruit witches, which I don't know how to put this on simple words, but they are OP. They are going to destroy the game for me, so I hope you're looking forward to it. Going to recruit Something because she has a high tactics point generation, and I am also going to recruit a Gungnir, which I am going to use for a single map and a single map only, but he's going to save 40 seconds on his own, so he's going to come in handy. So, who are witches? Witches are spellcasting units that have a ton of utility. They can attack from melee. They also, more importantly, have the skill to fly with their brooms. So they totally ignore high tolerance and can bypass terrain, which is extremely useful to gather flags. But for that I need to actually equip a broom on the witch, so... okay, we want Julio. We want to equip the accessory we looted from the previous map. Alright. Now I'm going to have the witch collect the flags for me before summoning Ragnarok. And notice how she's just casually climbing the wall here, you know, no problem, no biggie. Thank you. Alright. Now let's grab the last flag with Ragnus, he's closer to it. And we can start summoning Ragnarok now. For this one, I only desire to hit the boss, but also attempt to avoid hitting Giulio and Elise, because they are performing the boss kill. So I'm looking at a couple of conditions now. And Ragnarok is not cooperating, he just wants to massacre everybody. That's not good, it's not hitting the boss. I can tell where Ragnarok is targeting through the minimap. So that gives me a quicker tell for who is getting hit, instead of having to check every unit manually. Not good. Not good! Monkaes, please, my dude, give me the Ragnarok. Okay, I might just go for the full hit if Ragnarok doesn't want to cooperate. You cannot really influence Ragnarok, like it's supposed to help the losing side on the battlefield. So like if your units start dying a lot, then Ragnarok will start helping out your side and hit more enemy units. Okay, I'll go for this, whatever, I'm taking too long. It's hitting Giulio, but I guess I'll just wait out the stun. Alright, going to move the witch a little closer to help with some beats. I'm pretty sure this game is available on the PlayStation Network. Don't take my word for it though, I don't remember. Okay. I hope the hit on Giulio is not that big of a deal. On PB attempts, I just grind for good Ragnarok RNG regardless, and it's... I'm not sure what the consequences are going to be here, but just mentally thinking about the battle, I don't think anything terrible is going to happen. I am from South America, from Ecuador specifically. Okay, I guess I'll just wait out the stun. Yeah, cause even this witch got hit. I know, right? It would be a fantastic experience if that were the case, but okay, this is what I gotta deal with. Come on, break the stun, dude! Dude, that took forever. Where's my boy? There you are. Okay, we're going to have a bit of an issue here because our boy Pierre is going to move around. So that means I need to reposition my bits. No! That's a 5% miss, right, dude? Ah! Okay, I need to assess the enemy turns because I might be able to hit Paolo and kill him. This is not looking good, my friends. Okay, is the witch in danger? Not from the looks of it. Yeah, we should be fine for a little while. Okay. Giulio, please. But yeah, I go for that risk. Usually, if I have the Ragnarok behave, then I don't have to worry about it missing like that. But I gotta hit from this angle, because if I go a tire backwards for perfect accuracy, then I am going to... the arch is going to block the trajectory of the arrow. But if I get lucky here, we can just snipe the boss and be done with this. Again, I'm going for a 5% miss, so... in RPG terms, that's 100%, of course. Finally, dude! Yeah, you're already talking about the map AoE that dealt more than 5,000 damage? Maybe. Okay. Kill Pierre! This is for killing my friends. That doesn't affect anything, I just like killing Pierre because I hate him. We gotta have our priorities here. Here we unlocked another War God. This one is Warless. It does the same thing as Handheld, but it deals a random status ailment to targets, or something like that. No. Oh no, this one breaks all armor except the weapons, which might make it easier to kill bosses. But Handheld is just better due to the raw damage. Okay, here I'm going to buy a move ampule and a couple arts of war. I will get over what those things do in a little bit. At least we're doing really good on money, like I don't have to worry about my funds at the moment, which is great. Hello Racha, how's it going? Alright. So the move ampule is a consumable that allows me to increase my movement range by 1 for a limited period. And the Art of Wars, when you consume them, they give you 10 tactics points. So the Arts of War in particular allow me to restore my tactics points after using Einherjar, for example. Alright, we want something now. Just gear her up for war. Julio, Elise, Ramos, and Hildegard. So yeah, Arts of War are a great item. Now, for this map, I am going to cheese it with the Witch. Cheese. So, due to her movement range and Valerie's delays reductions, Valerie reduces the Witch delay by 2, so notice that I'm just skyrocketing through the map, like not giving a chance for the enemies to act due to how fast the Witch moves, thanks to her innate stats and the delays. Now I'm going to bait a hit from this Witch for further use. And I'm going to lay a trap on top of this tile and to bait the boss. Here we go! Now if I don't mess this up, I can perform a scramble. And have the Witch move off the way. And gotta start with a kill here. So yeah, we go for this trap for some big damage. It's the easiest way I can approach this unit as well. Like that boss in particular is just across the other side of the battlefield, so it would be a pain to reach if it weren't for our handy Witch. So, before the battle, I maxed out the Witch's capacity, and this is the first time it becomes relevant. The higher your capacity, the bigger your penalty will be if you decide to move around quickly. Oh nice, we got the first try. I just want to hit the boss and avoid the Witch. So, you're not supposed to be repeating actions with the same unit as I am like this often in casual gameplay, because the game penalizes you for it. If after taking action with a unit, notice on the bottom left how I get a countdown for the unit. And if you decide to take action while that countdown is ticking, the unit will take a penalty to its max HP. And right now I moved so fast with my Witch at her capacity range that she is now at 13 HP or something like that. So a gentle breeze is going to KO her. But because of that HP reduction, I was able to bait the boss, because he moved into the AoE of a friendly unit and also onto the tile. Like, I think the AI cheats and is aware that traps exist or for some reason. But because my HP is so low on the Witch, the unit goes, this is a juicy KO, I cannot mess up this opportunity. And goes for the kill anyway. And at which point I can just bait him with the trap. Yeah, dude, it's animated, you look the same. Alright, but now I'm just having the Witch take care of the rest. She's ready for action anyway. Boom, baby! Okay. Just getting an upgrade for the witch, and we can move on. So coming up is perhaps the hardest map in casual gameplay, because it just throws you on your, it just throws you upside down. It changes mechanics altogether and messes you up really bad. We got here Golgotha Fort, the Shield of Daltanica, which is the continent, I think. Well, whatever. We're going to use Paolo for the delay reduction on witches and timers, and set up the fancy new broom we just bought. I want Hildegard here, Julio, and Elise. Alright, so why is this map so difficult? Notice that on top of me there is a rail cannon on the turn sequence, and that rail cannon can deal mass AoE damage that cuts all your party health by 25%. I can also inflict the burn status, which progressively lowers your health as it ticks down. It's like a poison, more or less. And this battle gets people so hard in casual gameplay because the cannon's damage is very overwhelming. But I'm just going to let it attack anyway. In previous routes I did a setup to just destroy the cannon, but I realized that I don't care about the damage that much anyway, and I waste more time by attempting to kill it. Due to the setup and whatnot. Alright, here is 18 point, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to hit the boss. Did we get the first try? Oh, lucky, lucky. Okay, my timer is getting hit, however, so I'm going to move her away from danger, because those knights will take the chance to kill her if they have it. Alright, now I can also snipe the boss through the wall. Like, this is a very... It's so fortunate how this setup works, because there is a high tolerance for spells. Like, in this type of battlefield where you have a gigantic wall on top of you, you cannot cast the spells on top of that wall, because you have like 11 points of height for the spell to actually function. But here, I actually have just the correct distance to be able to hit the boss, and with the AoE of the spell also hit him on his ledge. So I'm going to take advantage of the terrain and be able to hit the boss anyway. Which the battlefield is pretty much built to avoid this from happening, but we just got cheeky. Or rather lucky with how we can set this up. Okay, where is Wallace? Oh yeah, another weird thing about the AI is because the boss is already holding a healing item, they don't feel like helping them out, even though it's extremely low health and it's the battle will end if they die. Alright. Okay, here I'm moving here for perfect accuracy, so that we don't have the map, the other map happen again, where I miss with a 5% chance of missing. Still salty about that. Okay, and now we have a second part to this map where the big boss, Robertus, enters the fray. He's the commanding officer of the Eastern Forces, and he's just going to spunk us so soundly that we are going to get defeated. So spoiler alert, we have to lose this map. So I'm going to set it up accordingly. I'm going to finally bring in the knight unit that I recruited ages ago, because it can be handy for the purposes here. And you just a showcase of his power. Calm down, dude. But yeah, even if you try killing the boss, the more reinforcements will come out, and the boss is also holding this thing called an Eventrion. I'm moving Hildegard to avoid an animation from the rail cannon, to avoid the AoE. But yeah, the boss is holding this accessory that cannot be stolen, and it's going to auto-revive the boss whenever he dies. And it's also not possible to destroy this item either, so you are just supposed to lose here. You cannot win even if you attempt, even if you try. So I'm just going to show my ace off the battlefield with knockback to insta-kill them and fulfill the conditions to progress that way. So rest in peace, Ragnus. And now Ragnus abandons the party because he just attempted to kill the commanding officer on his own, so foolishly he just wasted his life. I don't care. We have other units anyway. Let's see, here I'm looking at the wrong shopping list. Okay, I want a Savage Hunter for a boost in action and an Intelli Ribbon. The Intelli Ribbon is an accessory that most female units can equip, which increases their tactics generation by 5 points. So, as they walk, they are just going to feel the tactic meter immediately. Also, Valerie jumps ship because one fool will stay on a sinking ship, you know. But we're losing the war. We were so close at defeating the Eastern forces, and now we just have to retreat. Okay, bring in Elise and the Witch once again, and equip that Intelli Ribbon I just bought. So, the conditions for this map are retreating, or you can defeat the enemy ace. Now, it would be faster to retreat if I could help it, but the problem is that I also need Alisa to retreat. Alisa is that girl that I use on the tiered map of the game as bait for enemies. And now the problem is that she moves once every 26 ticks, and in English that means that she takes an eternity to reach the retreat point. She only moves 4 tiles per round, so it's faster to defeat the enemy ace. Now the problem with this is that I have to defeat the ace with very few units. Like, I don't have a lot of leeway for setup here. Yeah, but I think not running around the world is like a tradition for the department heaven anyway. They don't like doing that. Let's see. I hit the boss, we can go. Okay, so before I forget, move Elise first. This is a mistake I've been doing fairly often. And now I can start casting so that I hit the boss after the Ragnarok is done. So the enemies here are on standby. Like, they are not going to do anything because we are basically at a ceasefire and they are allowing me to retreat. But as soon as I hit the ace, I will aggro everybody at once. So I gotta ensure that I kill the boss before things get dicey. But Alisa takes so long to reach the retreat point that I could finish this battle 3 times and she still wouldn't reach the retreat point. It's kinda crazy how long she takes. And even if I give her like move and pills to assist her, it still takes forever. It's not worth the hassle. So this KO is a little tricky because the boss is holding an elixir and he's not shy about using it. So like I'm hoping for the best in regards to sniping him with this. Once again, I have 5% chance of missing. But it's already happened, so just what are the chances that it's going to happen again, dude? That's one. Let's see. Okay, we have a turn before the ace. Please, Elise, we believe in you. Nice. All right. Whew. This scene makes me nervous. It's one of the worst RNG battles. Alright. We're gonna buy a bunch of accessories here for refinement, so that I can buff other items later. Going to save just in case, although this map is not very dangerous, if at all. The map coming up is probably my favorite map in the game. It has very tight execution, very little RNG, and it also has a very unique strategy. Throughout this game, I referenced a Japanese speedrunner who, unfortunately, I am incapable of pronouncing his name. But if you go to my channel, there are notes for the game, for this game on my channel, so you can go check out the RTA run I referenced for that. But yeah, the strategy I am using here is very different from the Japanese strategy, so that's something I'm very proud of. So, on this map, I am going to use Elise as ace for once, and use the Gungnir I recruited ages ago for fast movement, and start collecting flags. So, with some luck, perfect. We can manipulate the boss to move into that tile. Now move Julio one tile upwards. So I collected flags specifically to increase Giulio's range. And now the Gungnir is going to go to town. This boss, Isabelli, is very squishy. She's a mage, so she doesn't have the greatest physical defense. She more than makes up for it through her high HP though. But I'm just going to repeat Gungnir attacks on top of the... in order to kill her with beats. Before nighttime falls. So notice that I am also stepping over this rock. This thing is a golem, he's actually an enemy. And if you have a unit that stand on top of it, they cannot act whatsoever. And they are fairly dangerous because they have an attack that breaks equipment at random. But they can only move one tile at a time. But they are a big pain, they take forever to kill. And would be a huge thorn on my side if I try to... to get rid of the golem before the boss. But yeah, now with the repeated actions, Isabel is on a sniping range for Elise. So I'm just going to have her take care of that. With a couple bits to guarantee the KO. Will a chrono! Oh wow, that is a 1/4 chance of dropping. It's useful. It's another like a game-changing drop, but it's going to help. Okay, here I just need to make one. I need to avoid that single armor, and we can move on. We have an intermission scene here. It's just a cutscene because there is a lot of plot going on. Like we're just very depressed about losing the war, so we are regrouping and assessing our next course of action. Not much else to say, regardless. Okay, now it's time for a safety save. So coming up is one of the more exciting maps in the game, because we are going to start employing glitches. Oh boy! We are looking forward to it. Alright. So now Alisa joins the party officially as Shinken Ace, but I just use her as bait for enemies because she's very squishy and enemies love hitting her. Besides that, going to move this and this. Subbing Reinhardt, which is going to function as our Ragnus 2.0 with his own equipment, bringing Hildegard for the Savage Hunter I bought earlier, and also for once remove the Gungnir. I want the Bronze Sword for the knockback tech. Now this map is extremely delicate, so I'm going to focus a little bit here. But I am essentially manipulating the AI so that I can perform a glitch and also get easy knockback chaos on the enemy. But yeah, I bought that Sun Cloak for Alisa earlier because it makes her immune to ice type damage. So that Frozen Spear doesn't bother me. That can inflict the Frozen status, which prevents me from moving from my tile, and it's a gigantic pain. It takes forever to wear off as well. So I need... I move every single one of my units off the range from that mermaid so that she cannot hit me with that status element and use Alisa's bait. Okay. In due time, dear viewer, in due time. I need a second to set up the feeder first. Okay, now move Alisa to a bait tile. Now move also Giulio also to bait an enemy. And start knocking this guy off the edge of the battlefield. There are no aces on this map, so nothing is immune to knockback. Okay, and we didn't get the early turn with the Trickster either. The Trickster is the green unit over there. So, for some reason, the AI sometimes just decides to gain 30 ticks just to make me feel pain, and there's nothing I can do about it. The only thing I can do is scramble to fix up my turn sequence. But yeah, I am pushing, I'm shoving off that Trickster down the gap, and notice how there is no room for a unit to move around down there. I wonder what happens if I push that dragon in the same gap as the Trickster and the Mermaid there. Let's find out, shall we? Boop! Look at those numbers, dude. Alright, let's set back the Gungnir. Also push off the Brood before he gets another action. I need him to stay on the edge, and dead, for that matter. Let's start looting corpses. The Mermaid is holding this thing called an Orichalcum. I can refine this for 30 gems per type, so that's going to be the bulk of my refinement here. Okay. Move Reinhardt to help with boosting and start killing things. Alright, so the way the knockback glitch works is basically the game gets really confused if it has more units that it can feed inside a gap. Nice. Oh, can we get the quick kill here? Come on, baby. Give me this money. Ah, the Trickster survived. If I get really lucky with my damage rolls, I can just knock her out without the extra attack. But she's easy to snipe at this point. But yeah, the game just keeps pushing the units on top of each other over and over again, and if you knock back a unit onto another one, they receive damage, but because they just keep knocking between the walls and into themselves, it just keeps racking up exponentially, and they insta-die because of it. So like, that is a glitch you may encounter if you on casual gameplay, if you're not careful. But with the very careful setup we did here, we can just take all those units out without actually depleting their health by conventional means. Okay, here I'm just going to do one more shopping trip. Save the chrono. That's fine. Save the elixir. Okay, got an upgrade for a witch. Holy Saber to recruit a paladin later. I need some cute bunny ears. I need the overdrive and Sabbath. And also start refining all the things I've been collecting. There's a funny glitch with the Sun Rose. The Sun Rose is supposed to give you wind gems. Paulo! Thank you. That's good enough. Yeah, we can move on now. So, the Sun Rose is supposed to refine for air gems, but the game doesn't have the tables set up properly, and it refines for wind gems instead. And the opposite applies to its partner. So, we actually want wind gems for refinement. Hello Neon, how's it going? Okay, we're going to fight together to please Alisa. So, plot-wise, we met this lady called Natalia, who is like Alisa's underling on the Eastern forces. So it turns out that Alisa is the princess of the East, of the Daltans. So we have a huge leverage through her on the war. Yes, you can use your own units for the knockback glitch. But it doesn't have application for the speedrun because I want my units to not die. Knockback glitch is a guaranteed KO, the damage is too much. There is no justice in the world. Okay, but now the plot is Alisa is going to get some dudes over here on another continent. to help us regroup our forces to tackle on the Eastern forces again. She will aid our cause as she wants to help us, even though she's the queen of the other side. The princess, pardon me. Okay, so now we can also use Natalia in battle, and Natalia is can use rapiers. The rapiers are a special kind of weapon that, heck, at least the return. Rapiers are a special kind of weapon that can knock back, and they also ignore some guard rate. So I don't have to be as cautious with my positioning when attempting to chase enemies on the edge of the map. And we also got this spooky lady here with that looks like a clown, called Heramia. We have to rescue her, like we did once with Valerie a long time ago, but once we approach her, she can die for all I care. Okay, so now I'm going to place my characters in such a shape that the sorceresses will be tempted to hit both Giulio and Natalia. Hopefully! Please, dude, why do you have to be like this? Okay, at least we got one of the sorceresses. But now Natalia can go to town with the knockback. Fortunately, this 2-tile wide area is very comfy for pushing enemies. But yeah, we didn't get lucky there. Ideally, the sorceresses will also move on the edge of the map and I can just knock her out immediately, but I will have to toy around with her because she didn't feel like behaving. At least the brutes do cooperate, so that helps a bit. Julio being frozen is annoying. Boop! Okay. Alright, I think the easiest thing to do here is ignoring the sorceress and go for the other one before she gets her action, and then just take care of the other one. Nah, they are just absorbing this amazing strategy game experience. Paolo, don't be a scroll, don't die on me. That is indeed correct, Dark. Thank you for the public service announcement. Now I just gotta slowly drag that sorceress to a tile where I can drown her. Because she just didn't want to cooperate. Ugh. Oh, Paolo might die here. Well, not die, he's just going to retreat. Plot characters cannot die, even if you drown them. Okay, nice, he hit Heramia. If Paolo retreated, it would have been annoying because I would be forced to fetch his item for later. Because the same rules for retreating apply for your characters. They are going to drop a sachet and you can grab it for one random drop they were holding. But yeah, that's the map. Not very clean, because the sorceress didn't feel like helping me out, but I still got the job done. We never see Heramia ever again. She doesn't matter. There was a lot of production cut from this game. Like they had some big plans for Heramia and stuff. Yeah, now just recruiting my last units for the run. And oh yeah, once I get rid of a couple of scrolls here. Sorry boys, it's harem time now. So, Rosa, why do we want her? Rosa wins the game on her own. She just insta-wins it. You'll see it right now. Okay, Paolo says for the witch reductions. Bring in something. Oh yeah, I want an accessory here to set up her boosting action. Julia and the legend Rosa. So this witch was fairly expensive to recruit. It was 31 grand plus a strong broom. The reason for this is that she comes very high level. She's what level? Level 43. Yikes. But because of her level, she has a really high capacity weight. And she can equip tons of accessories. Specifically, we equipped the cast time reduction trifecta. So with this, she is going to cast spells at an extraordinary rate. And notice the damage we're dealing here. Just 500 a pop per 5 ticks, like nothing compares to the DPS in this game. So we're going to be fully abusing these cast times to defeat bosses from now. Further, I also want to start working on Rosa's Cryo Cross Mastery as soon as I can. So she's just going to be spamming this over and over again to defeat bosses. It's faster than summoning Ragnarok anyway. But the equipment I set up on Rosa means that she also pretty much capped out her capacity. Which means that she will be dramatically low on HP if I am not careful. Did I screw up? Oh no, I didn't. Okay, the turn already passed. I wasn't even paying attention. If Rodriguez doesn't get frozen, I need to do something different, but I guess it just happened on its own volition. Yeah, one more, and that does the trick. And freeze doesn't come into play too often, or ever for that matter. I use it for the raw damage. Also shout out to Pamela, she's a recurring character from Yggdra Union if I am not mistaken. She just joined Rodriguez's ranks and is fooling around. Okay. Refute him! Don't talk bad about my father! So it turns out that way back in the day, Giulio's father was commanding the Speranza forces. That's the west of forces that we are employing right now. And one time he protected a random kid he found at the cost of murdering every other child in the slums. So within those were Rodriguez's son. So he got extremely salty about it. But now we don't care about Rodriguez, he never appears in the run ever again. Okay, so on this battle, Natalia is going to carry the entire scene. She's going to murder everything. It's going to be great. Just going to start manipulating the AI to get some better positions. Alright, so I'm going to kill 4 units at once with a single action, so if you've been paying attention, I think you know what's coming. Just going to bait this witch. Doom-de-doom. The damage from this Gungnir is negligible, they are not going to be a threat before I finish the map. Omae wa mou shindeiru. Look at Natalia, she's so proud of what she did. Okay, now I'm going to loot the corpses because I want the accessories the witches are holding specifically. These aggressors. These are late game hand gear that boost the damage you deal to aces. So they are a very effective boss killing tool. We cannot get this until the very final maps of the game. Now I'm going to wait out the Brooder to move around, because there is nothing else for me to do, and it's slower to try and push him around. So yeah, how's it going? How's the weather, guys? Alright, big mistake, buddy. You just don't stand on the edge of a map next to Natalia. Nice, smooth, silky smooth. Okay, we're approaching. I thought I advanced the scene accidentally. I almost had a panic attack. Okay, we're approaching endgame now, so we're going to be getting the best gear we can buy. Over the right, Force Bracelet. Force Bracelet is the first hand gear that Giulio can equip that reduces cast time, so it's going to make his Ragnaroks go faster. Alright, and now Natalia is going to Ace. Because she's one of the few units that can equip aggressors, and they are going to be my bread and butter for boosting for what remains of the game. Yes, I want something here, then I want Rosa. Yeah. Need to be very cautious with my equipment here. Okay. The rest doesn't matter too much. Actually, I may want for a Bella here, I guess. I don't want Elise because she got an early turn and was going to mess up my turn sequence. Like how I can shift between characters. That happens at random, dude. Like she just decides to move quickly for some reason and there's nothing I can do about it. Now, the boss is dangerously close to my witches, and so you know what that means. It's time to get spamming. It's around 100 more damage per hit. It is a significant amount, so refinement is definitely worth going, at least for the weapons that will have repeated usage, like the Ghost Bow. Alright, I just baited the archers so that they are not going to murder the main witch, Rosa. Because due to how often she casts spells and her capacity, she will reduce her HP at a frightening pace. So if I can avoid damage on her, all the better. No, this... Okay, moving Natalia over here. And then get the other witch to help out. Oh, no! She has to move one more tile, no! It doesn't matter. This battle is doesn't have any tricky turn management. So a mistake like that doesn't cost anything at all. Well, it costs us time, but it's not going to cost me a minute because I need to restart the map or something. So by comparison, it feels like nothing, you know. Okay, let's go to town on Nelson. He's the boss. The stick status makes my movement range become 1 until it wears off. But I am already in position. Also, notice my damage is so strong that the bosses get stunned because of it. Stuns happen if you receive extremely heavy hits. So I guess that's just a testament to Rosa's power. This is way better than using physical offense, for example, because physical offense is more nuanced. You have to set up characters for beats, and even then the cost per tactics points of the cast is not as significant as what you get from spamming spells like this. See ya, nerd. Okay, safety saving just in case. Although at this point the safety saves don't do that much because I do have retries at will in battle. It's mostly just to go back to the menu in case I messed up a shopping list. But yeah, Valerie rejoins our forces, now that we have proven that we are not a junk at commanding an army. And this is the last decision point in the game. This is going to guarantee that I get the good end, so that we get a faster crates. Okay. Julia's ace, and we're going to employ Valerie immediately, because she has some interesting applications on this battle. She can also equip aggressors, so she's also useful for that. Then I want Rosa, of course, and Hildegard with the Intelli Ribbon, because now she's going to be tactics point generation beast. Like anytime Hildegard moves around, she's just going to fill up the tactics bar, period. Now Isabelle makes a combat with her spoopy skeletons. Skeletons are an interesting unit because they do not... they cannot die per se. Hang on. Alright, here I'm going to do some cheeky setup. I'm going to step on a golem and with Handheld capture the other golem so that none of them can attack. It's a really fun setup that I stole from the Japanese RTA I referenced it. Now, Valerie is one of the few units that can operate siege weapons. So siege weapons are cannons, ballistas, things like that. And there is some, Paolo can also operate them, but he doesn't move as fast as Valerie. Also, tricksters can go for them, but if I already have Valerie, why bother, dude? But yeah, in this particular siege weapon is a cannon. They launch an AoE in front of them that deals 25% of the target is health, and it can also inflict a stun and burn status. Unfortunately, I didn't get lucky, so no burns this time. Yes, the whip is guaranteed to capture provided it doesn't miss, or the enemy guards it. But yeah, because of no burns, that means that Rosa is going to have to take over. And spam spells until we win. But yeah, now finally the bosses are catching up in experience with Rosa, that she's actually gaining experience after casting spells. She's extremely high level for this point in the run. Okay, now if I time my turn order correctly, Isabelle is going to get a turn here and cast this extremely fast spell called Hades' Invitation. And if you get hit by it, there is a chance you turn into a spooky, scary skeleton as well, which disables you from using any weapons that aren't equipables by skeletons. But because of my timing, I can move away from the spell before it goes off. And that's that. Yes and no. It's it has much different gameplay, but it is in the same genre. But if you like tactics, for sure you need to play this game. It's a decent challenge. It just looks easy because I am cheesing everything. Okay, we're going to go buy an upgrade for my paladin, then this to increase accuracy for Elise, and Oh yeah, an Art of War. Okay. Never, because I need her to complete the game. And if she doesn't work, I'm going to use another witch instead. Okay, back at the Bass Fisher. We have a similar map to the last time we were here, except that there is a billion enemies on the other side instead. Valeria's Ace for the witch reductions. Okay. We want Hildegard, remove this and equip the Art of War. We don't need her to boost from now on. Julia, remove this and focuses on just casting Ragnarok from now. We want Rosa, we want Fravel, I guess. And Paolo with the Charge Boggle I bought some chapters earlier. The boosting action of a Charge Boggle is it reduces your delays by a couple points, so it makes your next turn come up faster. But now, it's a similar strategy to the last time we were in the Bass Fisher. I'm just going to have Rosa power rush into the enemy field to get in position. But I'm going to do a bit of a cheeky setup here. I'm going to hide under the bridge so that none of the units can hit me. Because I'm not focusing on the enemy army right now, but there is a lot of ranged units over there. A lot of them. So this bridge is a blind spot for where these enemies can target me from. Okay. Now I'm going to boost the Art of War with Paolo to get a delay reduction so that I have more chances at spamming Ragnarok. Because this boss is one of the very few bosses that is very persistent on spamming his healing item. Am I healing the boss? Oh yeah, that's it, nice. Okay, first try, nice. I'm not used to getting lucky. Thank you, dude. I try running games need a route. So... hope you enjoy. So this map is very tricky because the boss is going to use an elixir if he's low on health. Like, he's very unlike other bosses who have an elixir and just don't bother with it for some reason until I kill them. But Conrad will get his turn quickly, so I have a very limited time frame where I can cast the Ragnarok and also kill the boss. Wait, Rosa got hit? No, that's not supposed to happen! Oh man, I thought I did the glitch correctly. So, there's a weird glitch in this map where if Ragnarok gets targeted on top of Rosa, then... Oh no, Rosa didn't get hit. Did she? No, she keeps... I don't know, dude. She's still casting, so it doesn't matter. But like, what's supposed to happen is that the target from... the Ragnarok is supposed to redirect to the thrower on top of me, because the game prefers, for some reason, targeting enemies on your Abuar's vector. So like, if there is a unit on top of you, then if there is a casting happening, it's probably going to target it instead. So like, I tried to use that thrower to redirect the Ragnarok, but I wasn't necessarily paying attention, so... It still works, because I'm still getting my cast off. So whatever, dude. It works. I'm not gonna complain. So yeah, I only have like 6 Ragnarok attempts before Conrad moves away. And if that happens, I have to freeze him with the Cryo Cross so that he stays put and I can keep cheesing him from my blind spot. But it didn't happen this time. Okay. Now we are embarking once again on the West Daltanica. It's time to make history, my friends, and defeat the Western forces. And this time we won't give up as easily. We have to defeat Robertus here at Golgotha Fort, who is the guy who just destroyed us last time we were here. Okay, I want Giulio and the harem, so all the chicks, and that should be good. It's not my fault that female units are OP in this game. Just to that guy in a motorcycle just making noise. Alright, here I'm going on a collectathon, get some flags. Okay, and we're back at Ragnarok spamming strategies because the bosses just have way too much health by this point. Robertus has the highest HP in the game, clocking at 4600. But yeah, fortunately this map is very kind with Ragnarok for some reason. The late game maps don't make me struggle too much with casting the spell. Okay, now I'm gonna move the ladies on the boosting positions because Rosa is going to take care of Robertus, the remainder of Robertus' health. This time Golgotha Horde upgrades itself to 2 rail cannons, as if one wasn't a pain enough, but I'm going to finish them up before they get out of hand anyway. Okay, I also need Natalia to move here, and we can get rolling. So, the reason boosting is so powerful on witches is that boosting is multiplicative instead of beats being referenced off of the character's raw stats and the weapon they have equipped. So you get more for less tactics points. Dude, imagine the stunning Robertus. I love this. See you, nerd. So, we have conquered Golgotha and can move within Western territory and finally put the war to an end. Okay, the next map coming up is by far the worst map in the game, and is what makes me reconsider grinding down this speedrun, because in this map you can lose a minute for no reason other than the AI, or you can also lose your run. It's amazing, like, Scene 23 is a joy to work with. I affectionately call the boss of this area Regina. She just decides if your run happens or not. Anyway, I bought one last aggressor, because now Orger Fravella is going to make a comeback. Just going to set up a list for killing the boss as a backup. But first off, I want Fravella with the Carnage Claw, Aggressor, and the Army Tights for movement. Then I need Natalia. No, I need Valerie. Oh wait, it was Valerie first. Ah! The setups are confusing, don't blame me. Natalia and Rosa. Okay, so what is the issue with this map? You got Regina over on the other side, and she's one of the few bosses that will enter aggro range if you move close to her. She's a spellcaster, so she will try to hit you from range. Now what I am trying to do is set up a trap on her path, so that she falls on this trap, it cancels her action, and also hopefully it inflicts a status ailment. I am also using Rosa as a bait to clutter the most enemies I get on this area. So I will get to that if it works. That's one. I think I messed up. No, it doesn't matter. Okay. We still get hit here. Nice. Okay, doesn't matter. We're fine, we're fine. Now I'm going to preemptively cast a Drowning Wave on the spot where Regina is going to move. Hopefully, if she moves in the tile. Nice. Can we get the scapegoat? We got the scapegoat! Holy shit! Okay, okay, I'm so glad I get to show this off. Part of my vocabulary, but oh dude, you have no idea how lucky this is. Alright, so what a scapegoat does, it's a status element that forces every unit to every unit you target will redirect its damage to the unit that got hit with scapegoat. So notice the crazy damage I'm going to deal on Regina here. Because every unit got hit by the spell, so it just redirected all the damage back to Regina. I think I messed up the strat anyway. Yeah. Let's see, can I kill Regina like this? Let me see. Boost bleed, no. It should be safe to move down here though. What is your cast time? 7. Cast time at 4. Okay, this should be fine. Yeah, I gotta do a little backup here because I messed up this strat to finish off Regina immediately. So now just chip her a little bit, and now I'll have at least finish her off. But yeah, this strat decides if I have a PB happen, because you save a minute if you do the setup properly. If the scapegoat doesn't happen, then I need Elise to finish off Regina through boosting and beats, because she is a magic unit, she is highly resistant to magic spells. So I cannot just have Rosa take care of her, and also the positioning just doesn't work to have Rosa kill her, so it's just a gigantic pain to do that. So the scapegoat happening is huge for the run. Okay, we want the Valkyrie. Oh no. Keep going. Yeah, that's the only equipment adjustment I do for this part of the speedrun. So the boss on this map is Bacchus once again. He was the boss way back on the prison map. I want Valerie. Valerie's forces ace anyway. Now we want Frabella for boosting. We need Natalia for boosting as well. We want Hildegard with the Valkyrie to increase her movement range. The Valkyrie is the best armor in the game. Only female units can equip it, and it boosts movement and jump by 1. So now Hildegard is just going to run wild like a rabbit across and grab flags everywhere. So the boss here has an armor called the Magic Eater, and this armor prevents it from receiving any magic damage. He's instead going to absorb any magic coming his way, which means that I cannot use my trusty witch to cheese the boss. Instead, I will employ Ragnarok once again and finish him off with Elise, given this setup. Alright, move her away, it's part of the setup. Move Natalia to the boosting position. Okay, no cleansing wind, that's what I want to see. And Bacchus moved to the correct tile. This morning I was practicing before the run, and Bacchus was just messing up the strat for no reason. But yeah, I'm gonna sub in Giulia now for some summoning. Ouch. I am very afraid of that thrower screwing everything up, because he can push Giulia off the edge of the map, but it hasn't happened yet. Let's see here. Is this fine? No, because it's hitting Giulia. I want to wait Giulia and Frabella if I can help it. And hit the boss. That doesn't work. That doesn't work, it's not the ace! I heard her, please! This is the will of the gods. No, I heard her. Come on, dude. You gotta give me this money. There we go. So it wasn't that hard, buddy. It wasn't that hard. Yeah, this single Ragnarok summon is going to put Bacchus on killing range. Because I'm going to boost Elise a lot. She's really weak, so she needs a lot of help to make up for it. Okay, I now need Giulio to help with a bit. Bring Fravella for boosting. And Valerie's already set up, so we should be good here. Is that knockback? Okay, it's not knockback. Thank you. Now, use a snipe my friend Bacchus with a strong attack and finish him off. Spin me right round like a record. So just look how inconvenient it is to use physical offense to kill things. Rosa just rules the game from now. We got the magic either, that's funny. It doesn't have any applications, but it's kind of funny to just get these rare drops from enemies. The drop from Bacchus is one of the few ways you can get a magic either in this game. Let's see, I need the Wind of Feeding, a broom upgrade. I also want another Valkyrie. Okay, and also perform the last alchemy upgrades for the run. I'm going to improve the 7 stars sword I bought earlier for the Paladin. And spend the rest on the Wind of Feeding. I need +5 at least. Paolo. Nice, thank you. So you just gotta nudge him a little bit and then he behaves. Alright, at long last we have reached the western capital, the city of the Altanica. The final skirmishes will happen here. So, we got a routing map, we have to defeat every enemy on the field here. Bring in Valeria's Ace for the delay reductions on Witches and Tamers. Because my Tamer is going to do... is going on a workout today. Okay, first I want Jich, who is the Paladin. Then Hildegard, Giulio. Oh, I need to set up Jich, he doesn't have anything up. Okay, you want this... raw mail... This is the first time I am using our friend here. Like he's a very handy backup if I cannot do the quick kill. Now I need Rosa and Sofing, who is also going to get upgraded herself. Getting that broom I just bought, and a Sabbath to reduce her cast time. Sofing is going to make a comeback. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is cast Ragnarok to chip away at all the nerfs I have to battle here. But for that I need flags, but due to the delay reductions, every time Hildegard moves, she only wastes 3 delay actions, which means that every time she walks I can use a scramble and nullify the delay she took for that action anyway. So like I'm just going to move her all over the battlefield to collect flags and get the required tactics points and move from there. Thanks to the Valkyrie and the Amazon boots, she also has insane mobility and jump. And now here I'm going to use something to block this chimney so the gunners stay put and I can snipe them for later. And cast Ragnarok. We are looking to hit all enemies, avoid our own units if we can help it. I want to avoid Valerie in particular because she is very prone to die on this map. And if your ace dies, then the battle is over. Okay, that would have worked, but it hits a Rosa, which I don't want. Come on, I heard her. You gotta throw me a bomb here. This works. Okay. It hits Julian, which is unfortunate, but I'll take it. Nice, and also the gunner mood where we wanted him to. Notice that these guys are lined up just nicely for Rosa to hit them. So I'm basically waiting for every enemy to come towards me, so they foolishly fall to their own deaths. By the way, my PV for this game is 150-30, so as I was practicing, I was finding myself that I couldn't quite keep up with the menuing pace I had on my PV. This is not an easy game to speedrun, at least at a high skill level. Okay, we want to now kill all of these gunners on the same attack, and this is pretty much my strategy for this area. Try to get as many enemies on the same AoE as possible and snipe them all at once. Okay, I need to wait out the stun on Julia. Nice. And destroy this paladin. Boop! Now we're going to set up the witch to start her murder spree. We got lucky with the Ragnarok, so that means that I don't need to use the paladin for backup. The paladin has an AoE range that hits the 3 tiles in front of him, horizontally. So that's also a great AoE backup if something goes wrong with the setup. Which might happen here because the paladins are moving early. Let's see. You are casting already. Okay, how about we do this? You are moving back so you don't die. Oh, the guy moved back. No! No! How dare you escape from your death? Okay, Valerie's fine, thank you. Okay, I'm just gonna take care of this witch so she doesn't... This sorceress, so she doesn't murk me with a giant AoE spell. No, I am concerned about that paladin, but he might move back because of the AoE. Okay, we're still fine on Handheld. I might be able to kill this sorceress with a bit. Yes. Be gone! I don't need money from this point in the game. I didn't even mean to do it, I'm sorry. Like, puns are just part of my being now. Alright. So, if the battle goes bad, it means I get to use Yeech, so it's nice that I show him off, I guess. Yeech is excellent for backup, because he can knock out all the nerfs without boosting. Provided we got a healthy sum of tactics points. Let's wait for a knight to get in range. Okay, that calls for a drowning wave. And that should do it. It's worth noting that even if I do the map really quickly, like get the ideal setups, I still have to wait for nighttime, because on the next map we're battling Isabelle and her poopy skeletons again, who also revive if nighttime falls, and I will have to disable the skeletons so they don't mess me up. Spoiler alert, we have a second scene here, where we encounter Ragnus, our brother, our previous leader, who has gone on a sadistic rampage and wants to kill everybody on our side for some reason. We want Frabella, Valerie, Yitch, that's not Yitch, you are Yitch. Rosa and Paolo as bait, no setups. So the music, the track in this field is amazing. It's really, really good, I love it, it's my favorite track in the game. Just going to let you listen to it for a little bit. Alright, first off, I am clearing the skeletons because, as I mentioned earlier, skeletons behave weirdly. There are skills that can insta-kill them, but they also don't die per se, they revive after their next turn comes up. There is also text that can clear skeletons from the battlefield, like fallen skeletons, such as things with grimoires, some holy text, whatever. But you can also disable them if you step on top of the skeleton, so they will stop acting. I'm just having Paulo bait Isabeli and turn him into a spoopy skeleton because I don't care about Paulo. I just need Isabeli to not hit my other units. Okay, let's scramble. Get some flags for Ragnarok. And get rid of this next skeleton. These skeletons are very tricky because they hold rapiers, so they can knock me back and disrupt my boosting positions. Also even knock back my witch and prevent her from casting spells, which is what the AI prefers to do. Okay. Now this Ragnarok, I only want to hit Ragnus. I don't care about anything else, I'll just wait out the stun. Just to get through this quickly. Look at that hell though. Isabel is not the ace on this map, you have to kill Ragnus to complete. Okay, I need Guy to get back on his feet. Someday, this century. Jeech, what are you doing? Jeech, thank you, alright. Okay, I'm gonna cast an Art of War so I can actually boost. I was supposed to do this while waiting for Ragnarok to happen, but I forgot. But it's fine, we still have enough turns to do what we need to do. So check out this crazy damage. Triple boosting, 800 a pop. That's a guaranteed stun on this boss. See ya, nerd. Alright, and now it is time for the final boss of the game. We don't have a traditional final boss like in RPGs where you battle a giant monster, some eldritch abomination. In this game, you just battle some guy. Also, Isabel gets eradicated from existence. She's a necromancer, so she can revive from death at will. But at least just seals her away, because she's like an angel being in this universe. Okay, the final scene against Ziyad, who is the mastermind that was orchestrating the war. For this map, we want Julia's ace, because my other option is Alisa and her delays are bad. Next, Valerie, Sofing. That's not Sofing, you are Sofing. Jich, Rosa, and of course, our girl, Fravela. Now, our only goal is defeating the boss, but notice that he's way up there. Even if I try getting closer to him and to cast spells, the height vector wouldn't allow me to, because there is too much height. The height tolerance wouldn't allow me to hit the boss with Drowning Wave. So what I'm going to use instead is the mass damage, this mass damage tech that I was spamming to kill skeletons on the previous map. This hits the entire row I go for, ignoring hide, so that can hit Ziyad. Let's see, next I want you to move here. I need to be very cautious with this map, just for AI manipulation. But yeah, the broom that I bought for the other witch already has that mass AoE skill unlocked by default, so I will use her to defeat Ziyad instead. Because Rosa has a very important job now. She's going to bait the enemies into attacking her so that they leave my other units down there alone. So like she's going down in a blaze of glory after serving us so well for late game. But somebody has to do it, and what better than our hero? Okay, grabbing one more flag for Ragnarok spam. I'm also using knockback to take out the knights immediately, because they can move down here and mess me up. Let's see. I need to hit the boss here and avoid my units if I can help it. But usually it doesn't take long. Yeah, the Ragnarok is very friendly on this map for some reason. Rosa, no! Notice the boss is using a wheelchair. This is not for aesthetics. It also means that he has a terrible jump rate, he cannot move around very well. But if you try hitting him with arrows, his back is actually protected from damage because his chair makes cover for him. Which is another reason we prefer magic for this setup. Yeah, this game doesn't spare the gory details. Okay, now I'm going to move everybody on boosting positions. Move Fravella to bait Sillad on casting a spell on the tile he's located so that he doesn't move around while I am murdering him. Notice that Fravella is still like level 1 or 3, I don't remember, he's pretty much the weakest unit you can recruit in this game. So enemies will love hitting her, you give him the chance. Specifically, that is amazing to bait the Sillad into attacking her. Okay, now we wait for Sillad to get going. My setup is on. If I try targeting Sillad right now, then he will move off the way from my spell, so the AI is not dumb, like he will try avoiding damage if he can. Okay, now we are going to start boosting, Cleansing Wind. It's going to hit him all the way from down here. And also prevent Fravella from suffering the same fate as Rosa. We don't need so many sacrifices on the same day, dude. So if I get the Corona drop from Isabelli earlier in the run, then this battle goes a tiny bit faster, because Sofin gets to cast her spells quicker. But I think I forgot to equip it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Alright, one more! This is it! Boop! And that's that! We have successfully completed Gungnir for the PlayStation Portable, my friends. As a formality, we actually have to go through the crates, because depending on the choices I made throughout the run, we may get an extra scene here, so I have to make sure that I didn't mess that up. Because that counts as part of the speedrun if I have to perform that as well. Because it happens before crates. So let's just wrap this up, shall we? I really hope you enjoyed, because I spent nearly a month and a half just routing this game and optimizing it a lot. Compared to the Japanese speedrun I referenced, I shaved off an hour and a half of the speedrun due to the category and the optimizations the run had. So it was... If you want to speedrun this game, please, I welcome you. I would love it for other people to run this game, because it's very consistent. It's a very, very consistent strategy RPG, unlike many others. So your units, your generics are always spawn the same. You don't have to worry about enemy behavior too much, because more often than not they will do what you want. So it's a fantastic speedrun. I really like this. Except for the Regina map. That one just sucks. But yeah, the war is finally at end. Alisa is now crowned the Queen of Daltanica, but Robertus is still pulling the strings behind everything. Because, like, Alisa had very good intentions. She wanted all people to fare well and get citizenship so the racism wouldn't be so bad. But Robertus is telling her, no dude, we just cannot do that because the East will throw an uproar if we do. So nothing really changes. Our friends are still dead. It's a shame. No, I still need to make a category on Speedrun.com, I forgot, I'm sorry. But yeah, the war ends with nothing changing, which is a shame because like it feels like an incomplete end. There was a lot of production value cut from the game. For sure. And that's time, my friends. We did it! I hope you enjoyed. And now I'm just gonna hand it over to Rolink for his next game. So thank you so much for watching and accompanying me through this. See you later.